having a baby? Are you gonna have a baby?
What?
We on the trailer it says freezing eggs.
In the trailer.
Okay, but that doesn't mean baby. That means we're thinking about it. That means possibly. Nancy's a handful, but the way she loves her son is enough for me to respect who she is and what she's been through, and we don't see eye to eye.
Imagine this, y'all. Finding out your woman cheated and the baby you've been claiming might not even be yours. Yeah, that's the kind of drama Jim Jones is dealing with right now. Word on the street is he's demanding a new DNA report for their little one. And Chrissy Lampkin is out here in tears after getting caught up. And the excuse she's giving? Y'all won't believe it. This story is a hot mess, and we're gonna break it all down right now. Let's get into it. So first off, let's talk about how this all started. Chrissy Lampkin's pregnancy shocked everybody, like people were really surprised because she and Jim been together forever with no kids. Given her age and the fact that they never had a baby before, fans were hyped but also side-eyeing the situation. And just when people were getting used to the idea, rumors started swirling that there might be a paternity issue. Yeah, the streets were talking and things were about to get real messy.
There were people that were speculating that maybe you were pregnant already.
No, wrong.
It was in the papers. There was speculation about pregnancy.
Okay, well, let's confirm them. Negative.
What is the problem?
Then boom, Jim Jones dropped the DNA test results. And let me tell you, it was not looking good for Chrissy. Jim went straight to social media and put it all out there, trying to clear his name and shut down the rumors. But instead of the drama cooling off, it just poured more gas on the fire. Everybody was talking, speculating, and trying to figure out what was really going on. And y'all, when Chrissy heard those results, sis broke down. She went on video, crying her heart out, talking about how hurt she was by the situation. And listen, it's one thing to be emotional, but the way she was acting had people wondering if she was guilty or just embarrassed. Either way, the pressure from the public and Jim's doubts had her falling apart.
And I thought that you would be there for me.
I don't know exactly how to actually deal with that because
Even Jim's mom reportedly wasn't here for this baby at all until she saw some solid proof. She even allegedly rejected the child, making it very clear that she wanted DNA confirmation before she claimed the baby as her grandchild. Now the whole situation has turned into a full-blown family feud, and the streets are watching every minute of it.
He's signing up for Nancy too. He kind of lets me and his mother just go at it. And that's not right. You have to have a say, one way or the other.
But let's keep it real. Jim had his reasons for being suspicious. Word is he'd been having doubts from the jump, and when rumors about infidelity started flying, he couldn't just ignore them. That's when he decided to demand a DNA test. And that decision, it shook their whole fan base. People couldn't believe there was this much distrust between them after all these years. And y'all, this is where things really get crazy. Jim Jones actually wanted to believe everything was finally falling into place. A baby, a new chapter, some happiness after all their ups and downs. But then came the message that changed everything. And listen, this message wasn't from a stranger. It wasn't from some hater. It was from somebody Jim trusted, someone who had no reason to lie. And it was just one line. You might want to check that DNA, bro. Imagine reading that. Jim stared at his phone, heart pounding, and at first, he laughed it off. He and Chrissy had been together for years. Why would he doubt her now? She had never given him a reason to question her loyalty, so this had to be some kind of mistake, right? Jim almost deleted the message without replying, but something stopped him, a feeling, a whisper in the back of his mind telling him that maybe, just maybe, there was something to this. The next few days, a blur. Jim tried to play it cool, act like nothing was wrong, but his mind wouldn't let it go. He started noticing things he had ignored before, little things that didn't sit right. Chrissy had been acting different lately, and at first, he chalked it up to pregnancy hormones, stress, the natural changes that come with bringing a baby into the world. But looking back now, it felt like something more. She had been avoiding certain topics. Every time Jim asked about doctor's visits or dates, Chrissy would change the subject or give vague answers. At the time, Jim didn't think much of it, but now it felt like she was hiding something. Then came the moment that changed everything. They were at a small, intimate gathering, just close friends and family, celebrating the young and news. The vibe was light. Everybody was drinking, laughing, reminiscing, and then Chrissy said something that made Jim's stomach drop. She mentioned a doctor's appointment that Jim knew for a fact never happened. He froze, his mind racing. Maybe he misheard, maybe she just got the dates wrong. But that feeling in his gut wouldn't let it go. So Jim asked casually, just to clarify, when was that again? And y'all, Chrissy hesitated. And that's when Jim saw it, a flash of panic in her eyes, quickly replaced by a forced smile. You don't remember? She laughed nervously. Babe, you're so forgetful sometimes. And just like that, the room went silent. Everyone felt the shift in energy. Something about the way she avoided his eyes made Jim's stomach turn, and even though the conversation moved on quickly, that moment stuck with him. Later that night, as they lay in bed, Jim kept replaying that conversation over and over. Something wasn't right, and he knew it. The next morning, Jim reportedly made up his mind. He needed to know the truth. Breakfast started off calm enough, but when Jim dropped the bomb, the whole vibe shifted. Chrissy, I want to do a DNA test. Y'all, the air got so thick you could have cut it with a knife. Chrissy slowly set her coffee cup down, and her face completely unreadable. What? She asked, her voice way too calm. And Jim? He tried to keep it gentle, saying, it's nothing against you. I need to be sure. But before he could even finish, Chrissy cut him off. You don't trust me. And just like that, it was on. Now listen, after all these years, after everything they've been through, Jim didn't know what to believe anymore. And Chrissy, she wasn't having it. She pushed her chair back so fast the coffee nearly spilled. If you really think I'd lie about something like this, then maybe we shouldn't even be having this baby together. And with that, she stormed out, slamming the door behind her. Y'all, Jim just sat there staring at his untouched plate, hands shaking. This was supposed to be one of the happiest moments of their lives, so why did it feel like everything was falling apart? Days passed, and the tension was unbearable. Chrissy reportedly barely spoke to him, and when she did, it was all fire. Every time Jim tried to bring it up, she'd either ignore him or snap. And then, out of nowhere, Chrissy switched up. Fine, she said one night. You want a DNA test? Let's do it. But when it comes back proving you're the father, I don't want to hear another word about it. Jim agreed, but let's keep it real. The damage was already done. The wait for those results? It felt like forever. And when the results finally came in, Jim's world stopped. The paper in front of him, it wasn't what he expected. It didn't confirm his worst fears, but it didn't clear them up either. There was something off, something that didn't add up. Jim's heart was pounding, his mouth completely dry, and when he looked up at Chrissy sitting across from him with her arms crossed tight, he couldn't even speak. And when Chrissy snatched that paper and scanned it, Jim saw something, y'all. It was just for a second, but it was there. A flicker of fear, maybe guilt. And then, it was gone, replaced by that ice-cold front she always puts up. But Jim knew what he saw, and now, he needed answers. Because if this little one was really his, why didn't the test confirm it? And if it wasn't, then who's the father? And listen, that's the million-dollar question. Because if Chrissy was stepping out, it wasn't just some random dude. It had to be somebody close, somebody in their circle. And the thought of that, it's got everybody shook. This is where things get even messier, because if the streets are right, and there is a new man in the mix, then we gotta talk about September 2024, when those split rumors first started flying. Now, if you remember back in September, Chrissy posted that shady Instagram story that had everybody talking. She said, "You and I both know you'll never find someone like me. Good luck trying though, I'll have you replaced by tomorrow." Girl, that was bold. And let's be real, you don't post something like that unless you're feeling some type of way. Naturally, people started speculating that there was trouble in paradise. And now, with these DNA test results looking suspect, some folks are thinking that's exactly when she might have stepped out. But here's the thing, it doesn't make sense. Jim and Chrissy have been riding for each other since 2004. That's 20 years of love, fights, makeups, and reality TV drama. They met at a Harlem lounge, and from there, it was history. We watched their love story unfold on Love and Hip Hop New York back in 2011 when Jim proposed to Chrissy.
I got that information for you.
In 2012, Jim flipped the script and proposed back, but still, no wedding. And it didn't stop there, they even had their own spin-off show, Chrissy and Mr. Jones, from 2012 to 2013, and still no vows. By 2016, they were trying to work through their commitment issues on Jim and Chrissy, vow or never. But you guessed it, still no wedding.
What are we doing here? You're too comfortable. I'm making it easy for you. I'm playing house, I'm cooking dinner, your clothes are clean and folded. Like, what are we doing?
Fast forward to 2019, and Chrissy was already saying marriage wasn't a priority anymore. And listen, after 20 years together, if marriage isn't on the table, you'd at least expect trust and loyalty to be rock solid. So if Chrissy really was out here seeing someone else during their rumored split, that would be a major betrayal.
Anyway, just want to tell you happy birthday, and I love you. You're a year older, and you need to start thinking about things that are more substantial.
And the crazy part, the timeline fits. If those rumors in September were true and they really did take a break, that could have been when Chrissy allegedly met her new man on the side. But if that's the case, then the next big question is, who is he? Because if it's someone close to their circle, like people are whispering, this situation's about to get even more explosive. So now I want to know, do you think Chrissy's been stepping out? And if so, who do y'all think the mystery man is? Drop your guesses in the comments and let's get into this. And don't forget, like, subscribe, and turn those notifications on. because I promise you, this drama is far from over.